Yes, Charles.
Well,
How are we now?
how's it going?
Good, good. I'm liking the tricolor you have in the background there. You big union.
It's actually conveniently covering up a wine stain on that white wall.
A wank stain.
A wine stain, a red wine stain.
Uh,
And there's another poster like here. This is because the wine continued down the wall, so I needed something.
right.
And then I
Right.
put the bed there, and I thought, well, I don't have to think about that for a while.
Did you
So
not pour some white wine over it to try and get it out?
is that? I didn't know that was a thing.
That's
I
one of
would have
those.
done.
It's one of those life hacks. You know, if you spill red wine on something and it stains, pour white wine on it, and then lick it off.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they say. Anyway, I've never tried it out to see if it works, but yeah, beer doesn't stain is noticeable if the walls are already yellow.
Mm,
Sounds gross. Yeah.
it does, yeah. It does kind of look yellow behind you. Fair enough.
Ah, it's cream, I would say, or off white.
I like this place. Like the landlord need to paint it and all that crap as well. Like, it needs a good lick of paint.
Oh yeah, this place is in bad need of a lick of paint. Like,
We have a similar kind of house. Look, I have very high ceilings too.
yeah,
It's like an oldie house too, like yours. How would you say oldie house? Do you
uh,
think
well, I would call this a townhouse,
this is
classic
similar?
townhouse.
Is this similar? This would be like a
Yeah.
townhouse too, kind of.
We got the thick windowsills, um, where you can sit plants and things. You know.
Okay.
Aye. All right. So all's good in Madrid. Things are back to normal.
There was an election there 3 days ago now. The Madrid elections,
Right.
and the Conservatives won very, very big
Right.
because the main slogan was liberty. Uh, so, and they're the ones that kept the restaurants and bars open even now and stuff like that, and kind of give a lifeline to a lot of businesses. So they'd have a lot of support with kind of local people. So they won not big enough. Well, they won just big enough that they didn't have to go in with the extreme right, the Vox Party, the anti-immigrant party, the kick all the immigrants out of Spain kind of party.
Right. It's good news.
They're soon becoming. They're soon. They could have been kingmakers. So they're soon becoming that kind of force. You know how they're kind of mushrooming. I don't want to liken any political party to them. I'm not going to liken Sinn Féin to them, but the way the growth kind of came about, it started small. It did start small in the beginning. You give a little bit of a taste of Sinn Féin to people, and then people, oh well, it didn't taste that bad, and people started voting for them then in that last election. Wait till you see now. In the next election, they're probably going to win a lot.
You reckon?
Yeah.
We'll see. Time will tell. That's a long ways away, and as they say, a week is a long time in politics.
But this whole weird power sharing thing between both parties and sharing the Taoiseach period of time for 2 years, that's very strange and very undemocratic. No one voted for that. It's
Yeah.
something that and that leaves a bitter taste in people's mouths.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
And they've chosen to rule at one of the stupidest times during a pandemic, where things are or only can be laid to blame for them. The buck stops with them. Everything happens during this period of time is they're responsible. So in a way, it's a good thing that Sinn Féin didn't win the last election.
Hmm. That's an interesting point of view there. Aye, we'll see. Hey, oh, there's a cat. Um, we'll see what happens. It's what we're a year into it now, over a year. Wow, a year, because they were messing around for a right while. Do you remember whenever the vote happened, and then there was a period of a few months where they were like, "Oh, we're just going to continue being the emergency government for the meantime while we work things out," and then and now we're just going to kind of continue being the government now. Just even though he didn't really vote for us, but like we have more people, so we're gonna do it. Which
thing.
I suppose the way the system was worked out, that's the way it worked out, and you can complain about it till you're blue in the face, but it's not going to change nothing until.
But what's the main thing? This pandemic is the main thing people are talking about at home now.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like the only
Like,
thing. Brexit
yeah.
barely gets a look in these days. Like, there's the odd little chat about Brexit, but it's when's this shit gonna end? I was over at the home house there earlier, and they've stopped watching RTE because it's just horrendous, and they're watching Newsline instead, and it's nearly as bad. Hey,
But it's the
there's
thing is, I get tempted to watch RTE sometimes as well, just to get a source of some kind of what's happening at home or
yeah,
something like that. But I get this their bias and the way they run and stuff like that. Some of their anchors have been there way too long, like stuff like that. And I don't know,
Karen Nolan.
it's just and they're not exactly hard hitters, or and they're very I don't know, the bias is kind of
Very
very apparent.
blatant.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, it's
I think
to anybody that has any idea of any ability for critical thought at all. It's just cleared by watching it that you're being manipulated. Like, so
same with the BBC. I haven't been able to watch that in a very long time as well. It's very hard to it's very hard to watch. Their thing on things is uh, like a lot of the news, but I watch CNN sometimes too, and they can be very sickening too. Just the way they go on, and the way that everything, they're all shifted to left and right. In America, it's kind of very. Then it's like watching CNN's quite sickening. Watching Fox News is very sickening. The one news network I watch would be Euronews. It's because I'm very pro Europe, very pro European. It's funded by the European Union or the
as did
European
I.
Council. Yeah, it says that at the bottom of the screen, and most of the time. So I'm very pro that project. So I like the the news kind of. How do you the news perspective, or
Yeah, yeah. It's funny. Like whenever we were growing up, I suppose it was only whenever the 24-hour news cycle was invented, where it changed. To it wasn't just news; it was like fucking opinion and but whenever you think about it, both of us studied media, so we learned about these things, and I think it was really eye-opening whenever you sort of realize that somebody's got to decide what to show on the news. Shit is happening all the time, all over the world. There's always news. There's
yeah,
always
no, but
something
I
going
get
on.
critical. I watch this news channel, okay, and it's frustrating a lot of the times because there's important things that's happening in Ireland that it doesn't report on. They're even talking about things in the UK, and they're not even part of the whole crack anymore. So like that's kind of annoying. That annoys me when they do talk about Ireland. Like I kind of like it. You get that kind of buzz. Oh, they're talking about from like home or something. But uh, I don't know.
Jared was saying that he saw a clip from BBC News there the other day talking about how Donegal is like got 5 times the rate of COVID compared to the rest of the country. You hear Tony O'Houlihan compared us to dogs or something. If we're
Yeah,
worse than dogs. I can't.
that's saying that too.
I
Yeah.
don't remember the full quote, but what a wanker. I think I speak for the majority of Donegal people when I say that man's a wanker. You know, like the people of Donegal will do, have done, and will continue to do what they feel is right to protect themselves, their families, and their communities. And the people of Donegal do not need some fucking overpaid, underqualified, corrupt public health official to tell them what they can and cannot do. It's uh, it's ridiculous. And there was chat that they were like, with the country opening up from Monday, there was chat that they were gonna keep Donegal locked down. But like, I mean, Donegal people haven't been paying much heed to the guide. I'm sure some people have, but like, I mean, people have been going to Derry to shop or whatever, and from here, because we're very close to the border.
There
Um,
was a lot of controversy with people lining up outside pennies and all that crack. No.
yeah, I don't know if there was like Donegal people there. Maybe there were, but probably mostly Derry people. And it was in
Well, like,
Belfast.
like, is that do you know, like, I didn't understand, shopping at pennies, as a necessity, like, and standing, apparently, okay, mum was telling me the line was that long, someone was selling tea and coffee and stuff like that because it went round so long. And I'm like, why would you wait in a line that long to get socks? Or, I know you probably need some stick, but is the clothes falling off you? Like, is it that, I don't, I wear shit until it's probably, you know, done, like fucking done.
Oh well, man, I've during this whole thing, my work clothes, because I've been wearing my work clothes Monday to Friday, and I ended up with big holes like the other side of them, like, and I had to demote some of my just casual clothes to work clothes, and I had one pair of jeans didn't last a week, like they ended up holding the same place, so I'm in fair need of an oil shop pretty soon. And as you can see, I could do it getting my hair chopped as well. So
Yeah, I get mine. That's what they've always been open for. They
the
never
whole
closed
time,
it.
it's
Yeah.
it really is disgraceful that they closed them too, because they had limited them. They they opened them up after the initial lockdown and said, well, you can open up, but it's appointment only. So like even for the barbers, where usually you'd walk in, you have to ring up and book, and it's just you in there along with the hairdresser. They take your number and your name, and you don't go there if you have any fucking symptoms or anything, obviously. And if you happen to have COVID and you end up, then you ring or whatever, and it's grand. But they closed them all, and it's just not based on any real logic. Just
The reason why they didn't close them here after the first, like, hard lockdown anymore is because a lot of people can't wash their hair themselves and things like that. A lot of, like, the older population, the elderly. So they do play a, I don't know. I don't know. That's what I was told. Okay. I don't know if they're like so old they can't lift up their fucking hands or something. I don't know.
these high times will be hard. Hey, if you're so old, you couldn't
Yeah,
live.
but there is people like that. You see them
I
like
suppose,
shuffling
yeah, like it's
along, like, because they probably can't lift up their arms. I don't fucking know.
um yeah, I suppose it's maybe in Ireland there's a whole heap of old people sitting at home with wild dirty hair. Can't wash their hair.
Well, that I seen a video recently where some people, it's like an anti-shampoo, it's anti-poo movement or something like that. Hashtag
All
anti-poo
right,
movement.
anti-poo, right?
Yeah. So people have stopped washing their hair because it's washing out all the natural things, and
Oils.
your
Yeah.
hair actually
Matty told
becomes.
me that a long time ago. He was saying, shouldn't wash your hair every day. Gets rid of the
No,
oils and stuff.
apparently here in Spain they wash it 3 times a week. I didn't know that, but I seen a documentary and I was like, all right, I didn't know that. But like greasy, if people put in like product in their hair and stuff like that, and they're not washing their hair, I think that's a bit complicated, no? Because
Depends
that's where
what
they
the
put.
product is, but yeah, by and large, it's probably not a good idea. Like whole heap of fucking shit put in your hair.
Yeah, and it'd be all
Sticky
like your hair.
fucking. Imagine lying your pillow. I very like whenever I was younger, maybe between the age of 16 and 18 or so, I might have used some hair gel, bro cream, Dax or whatever. But no, not really for me. Hey, like
Yeah, when you're younger and you put the fringe up like this,
yeah.
that was the time.
Uh, why not? I suppose. But no, I would only wash my hair once a week, maybe twice a week.
Twice a week.
Mm, and condition it. Raw egg.
That's bollocks.
I've heard
Okay,
people doing that, like, but I don't do that.
all right, I'll show you a clip here of what do you call it? Vaccine. So recently, I don't know if I told you this already, but do you know how people speculated Bill Gates had put microchips into vaccines?
Yes, the
Um,
the conspiracy theorist sort of thing. It's like it's
it's
the
actually
go-to.
based. It's actually based on a study, not necessarily microchips, but it's based on a study that he partly funded one time that he stopped. Um, in the past, it's some of these conspiracy theories are based on some kind of small truth, and then they build on that as some kind of foundation. So there is something to that, but so basically that doesn't exist. It's not a thing that exists. And there's a clip of Bill Gates and Melinda Gates recently, before having an interview, before they
Announced they were
announced.
getting divorced.
But this wasn't even about that. But there's a clip, so I'll show you now. So you have to enable me to share, lad.
All right. Let's see. Multiple participants can share simultaneously. Go for it. I think that should be. If it's not, that'll be inconvenient. Yeah. Here we go.
Okay.
Oh, they made such a cute couple too. It's a
I don't know. Okay, so recently, how I kind of was defending him with you about 3 months,
yeah,
from
I
you
remember. I
3 months ago, and I was like, oh, well, he's doing all these things, and I hear all these good things, and all these pundits that I listen to and stuff, they like him, and
yeah,
they never really question any of his tactics. But then there's all these kind of other shit that you kind of hear about him being the largest farmland owner
landlord,
in America now. He's patenting shit out of seeds all around the world for some fucking reason.
patent and
Uh,
what seats?
Seeds, the seed supply, the food supply. It's like he wants to control the food supply. He's patenting the seeds. It's what that I can't remember her name. Okay, and I'm not gonna butcher.
Van Shida. Oh, I can't remember either. I'm butchering it. Vandana Shiva. Is that it?
Something.
Indian
Okay,
woman.
yeah, the one that Russell Brand's always on about.
Yeah.
So, she dislikes him immensely.
She
Um,
does. Yeah.
it's quite funny. But yeah. Anyway, anything just in general, the whole Weinstein scandal. He was involved. He had apparently been to the island and had met with Epstein multiple occasions. He's photographed with him and things like that. So if you look at this picture here now of the two of them, uh, they're getting a divorce. Do they think he doesn't? Do you see? It's kind of a bit okay. I just look at his face when she starts responding, to this kind of the question.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to this.
No, my husband is not vaccinating people and putting a microchip in her arm because that technology doesn't even exist and he's never uttered the words out of his mouth. So
She didn't
So
say yet, though, did she?
but that's the point. It was such a weird answer to even come out like that. It was such a weird, she could have just said no, no, but no, that technology doesn't exist yet, and I didn't hear my husband talk about it.
Can you rewind it back there a wee second till because it was slow to play in the
Right.
beginning.
I know my husband is not vaccinating people and putting a microchip in her arm because that technology doesn't even exist and he's never uttered the words out of his mouth. So
You see,
She doesn't say yet.
she doesn't say what.
You said that she said yet. That technology doesn't exist yet. But it sounds like she says that technology doesn't exist.
Yeah, but she's intending to say that. That's the intention. Sorry.
Jeez, hey, that sounds like conspiracy theory chat to me, Charles. You're putting words in her mouth. The tables have turned.
I don't even know if they have, but okay.
Yeah, no, I'm only messing. I'm telling you, that's his end plan. The thing is, whenever you become incredibly wealthy and powerful, and you've bought the Lamborghinis, you've bought the yachts, you've fucking gone on wild parties on Epstein's Island and all that. It's like, what else do you do? You've reached the top of whatever it is that you've been doing. And it's like, well, I may as well try and, take over the whole world.
Yeah, but I thought you were justifying, like, what would he do? What would he be doing with Epstein?
Oh, I don't know.
Like, what do you mean?
I've heard,
What?
I've heard the stories and that, like, but I don't know. I haven't really delved into it myself to see. I heard Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, and now you're telling me, what do you call him there as well? And then Prince Andrew, of course, and all those, that they were good buddies with Epstein and they went to his island and all that crack. But I don't know an awful lot about it. I've heard that he is basically a pimp, Epstein, that gets teenagers or underage girls and brings them for all of his wealthy buddies. That's what I've heard. So, to this private island.
So here's a picture of them standing together. Kind of shit. Let me see.
Is your Google in Spanish? No? Oh, that's...
There's him with your man.
Oh, yeah.
He's still alive, isn't I?
The thing is, as well, like, I mean, I'm no fan of Bill Gates whatsoever, but being photographed with someone, you can get
Shut
photographed
up.
with anyone. Hey?
Ah, you get a photograph of anyone, all right.
You can now, like, you know.
I didn't get a picture of him.
Yeah, could have fucking, yeah, would have been funny. Maybe we can arrange that. Maybe we could doctor some photos and say that Charlie was photographed with Epstein. You know,
Did you see a picture of Jeffrey, his cellmate? They put
oh
Epstein in.
yeah, yeah, big, massive, fucking roided up
Steroid. Yeah,
Italian.
like murderer, and it would be in prison for the rest of his life. You know, knew what he's doing, kind of dude. Could break a neck with his thumb.
Yeah, uh, I don't know, but I don't know. It's all pretty fucking weird. Like,
So there's the. Did you see the thing with and Apple and Apple and Facebook?
I heard some bits and pieces. What is it that Apple's bringing out a new update for their software or something that
Yeah, but this has
stopped?
been going. This whole thing between them has been going on for a couple of years now, or more.
Right.
Sorry. So it's just the recent kind of escalation of, you know, righteousness, kind of a little bit of that, and kind of pandering. So Facebook versus Apple. Here's what you need to know about the privacy feud. So, a privacy change coming to the software that powers Apple's popular iPhone has prompted a war of words in Silicon Valley. The iPhone maker is expected to roll out an update to its iOS 14 operating system next week that prompts you to give apps permission to track their activity across their apps and the web. So basically, it's a opt-in system instead of an opt-out system. And now Facebook
Ah,
is, so it's gonna, for all of these apps on an iPhone, before you can, you know, get your location tracked, okay, it's gonna stop. You have to opt in for it instead of, you know, which is makes a lot of sense.
yeah,
So
I like the
Facebook
sound of that.
Facebook is kicking up a lot of shit about it now. And why they're kicking a lot of shit is because they make all of their revenue through direct advertising, from taking your information, your location, and be able to directly advertise to you and take your information and stuff like that.
That's
And they
brilliant.
would lose a lot of money. They stand to lose a lot of money.
That's
Um,
brilliant. That's really great news.
and so here's uh, your man Tim Apple. That's what
Tim
Tim Cook.
Apple, Tim Cook, Tim
Yeah,
Cook's apples.
and this is basically him explaining a little bit of it. And I'm not like licking his ass or anything like that. It's just him talking about it. And just something I found.
Okie dokie.
Too many are still asking the question, how much can we get away with? When they need to be asking, what are the consequences?
Escalating a conflict between tech titans Apple and Facebook, Apple CEO Tim Cook delivered a blistering takedown of social media on Thursday, blasting apps that he argued collect too much personal information and prioritize, quote, conspiracy theories and violent incitement simply because of their high rates of engagement.
At a moment of rampant disinformation and conspiracy theories juiced by algorithms, we can no longer turn a blind eye to a theory of technology that says all engagement is good engagement. The longer the better, and all with the goal of collecting as much data as possible.
Cook's comments at the Computers, Privacy, and Data Protection Conference did not refer to Facebook by name, but the two companies have been in a high-profile dispute. Apple is preparing to implement privacy notifications that Facebook said would disrupt its ad-supported apps and warned investors on a Wednesday earnings conference call that Apple's impending privacy changes would inflict, quote, significant ad targeting headwinds in 2021. And Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg accused Apple of using its dominant platform position to, quote, interfere with how our apps and other apps work. In his remarks Thursday, Cook also took aim at social media practices that he said undermine public trust in vaccines and encourage users to join extremist groups.
It is long past time to stop pretending that this approach doesn't come with a cost.
All right. So.
Interesting. Very interesting.
But I don't believe in Apple's kind of righteousness.
No, I don't either. Like it sounds good, but it's like
because they're
not calling kettle black.
Yeah, but it's just because they don't depend on data collection. You know, it's not their main. I'm sure it's some. It's not their main kind of
MO.
MO. No, I was thinking more kind of business term, but fuck it, I don't know anything about business.
All you ever do is business. You don't know.
Kind of makes me want to get an Apple phone, but fuck that.
I don't have an Apple phone, have never had an Apple phone, but I have a MacBook Pro that I bought in 2013. It's now 2021, so 8 years ago, and I fucking still love it. It's perfect. It's class. One of the best purchases, big ticket purchases I've ever made, I reckon. I've got a new motherboard on it, but that was my fault. I left my porthole open and there was a wave came in and covered it in salt water, and the USB port and
I don't know what you're on about. Right.
Yeah.
What time is it there now anyway?
It is 2 minutes past 8 p.m. and it's still bright.
I'm not. Does it tell you how long this has been?
It's been about 30 minutes or so. Why are you bored?
Yeah, well, do you have anything else to say?
I thought you were going to tell me about something else. There was one other thing you were talking about that Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan and the flack that he got there recently for saying that if he was talking to a 20-year-old, 21-year-old, or whatever, he'd be like, no, you don't need to get this vaccine. It's like, if you're healthy, your immune system works fine. Why do you need to get a vaccine? And Fauci said something to him.
Yeah, Fauci directly. Yeah, but that was CNN. It's just all pandering to kind of start a kind of, you know, even Joe Rogan, his main statement, he comes out and says, don't listen to me. I'm just someone chatting shit on a podcast. I'm not a doctor. Okay. Bill Burr, the dude that you hate, there's a clip of him going,
I don't hate Bill Burr. You're putting words in my mouth there now. I'm not a fan of his comedy. I don't feel strongly enough about him to hate him.
Anyway, when he's on the podcast with him, he stops Joe very quickly when he tries to talk about the debate with the masks and all that kind of stuff. I think a lot of people are not thinking clear.
What is
a lot of the majority of the people in medical professions, they're very frustrated with this kind of, even if there's a little hint of vaccine hesitancy, and that prevents, you know, the thing is, like polio doesn't exist. Why doesn't polio exist? It's because we have a vaccine. Yeah, okay, but why was any vaccine hesitancy back then? No. Why was that? It's because polio affected children. So children would get polio and they would be in something called an iron lung, and they'd be in that for the rest of their lives. Okay, horrible shit. The dude invented polio vaccine. His daughter actually had polio. Okay, and that was what he strived to make the vaccine. Everyone got the vaccine, polio doesn't fucking exist anymore. Okay, so that is what they're basing it on. Doctors, professionals and all that, yeah, everyone can have their opinion, but in general, the vaccine won't work, apparently, if we don't reach 80% of the population. Okay, maybe we don't always have to do that every year, but in the first kind of, dabblings of a new virus, doesn't it make sense that we all get inoculated to, at least kind of, I don't know, try to create this effect that the doctors say that we need to create.
You see, the thing with that is it's very hard to grasp, and it sounds like it doesn't really make a wild lot of sense.
Yes, but the professional, I know, but the worst thing that what's happening is that they're getting celebrities and they're getting, some people, and these kind of pundits and things, these liberal kind of pundits, they're self-righteous and all this, they take it because you're going to kill someone. People don't like getting, told what to do.
The fuck do they?
That's what I think the main thing is, because people just don't like, being
It's being shoved down everybody's throats, and it's like,
the worst thing they can do is get a footballer or something like that to say to take the vaccine. It's because people don't even there's a distaste to that. So just do it for 1 year. Take the vaccine now. Everyone takes the vaccine. Grand. If it doesn't fucking work, doesn't work. But let's get back to a bit of normality. I'm sick of this shit. That's why people got mad at Joe Rogan, because there's so many people fed up of this situation. Yeah, people are fed up and don't take the vaccine, but I think a lot more are fed up that the economy's fucking stopped. The summer's coming up. There's not going to be any tourism, or people need to book flights now. If they're preparing for summer holidays in Europe or coming to Ireland or anything like that for tourism, they need to start planning now and saving their money now. Last year it was too late, even if they did kind of reduce some restrictions later in the summer. It was too late for people to do anything. So yes, get the fucking jab or get a test before you get on the plane and work away.
Yeah, I was quite pleased, I suppose, that the EU, the vote that they did with the green passport thing, where they said either a vaccine, a negative test, or proof that you had beaten COVID already. Those are the stipulations or whatever. So technically I can come and visit you now, I think.
Yeah, but
proof that I had COVID and I've kicked it now, like.
Yeah, well, you're not going to stay with me.
I don't know, I'm not allowed. No.
Oh, fuck off.
I don't know. How many years have you been in Madrid now?
I think it would be technically 7 now in August. This August coming.
Right. It's quite a long time, hey?
Yeah, but you just get used to it like anything else.
Yeah, that's true. But no, that's it. I haven't been over yet.
No, yeah. So yeah, nearly 7 years, and
And I come over, I don't even have a place to stay or nothing. Hey, fucking, that's some crack.
floor. You can sleep on the floor with Riley.
Curled up in a ball. No, I would like to take a spin over, but I do. More importantly, or on top of my list,
Just shit that you could freaking see here. I know you'd like it. You'd be like, ooh, I could see painting, and you'd be like, ooh, I can see a Banksy exhibit. Ooh.
Raymond was slagging me off there earlier because I said the Latin name for mussels, which I pronounced Metellus edulis, but apparently it is pronounced Mytilus edulis. That's neither here nor there. But if I'm to head away somewhere soon, I would like to go on a business trip to the south of France or something like that. That's would be my idea for a holiday, working holiday.
I would like to
But
come
I
home.
would love to get a visit to you in Madrid as well, because it's not on like everybody else I think has been out. Connor's been out with you, Jared's been out with you, Maddie's been out with you. It's that day.
And Jared's coming for seconds.
Hungry her, hey, hungry her.
Yeah.
Well, fuck. No, it's coming at this time of year. We're not quite so busy. We're going to be a wee bit busy, but like it's the kind of work that all of the major bulwarks done. Our busiest time I think is like between September and the start of December, pretty busy, and then from February to April be pretty busy, and then during the summer it's kind of quiet. Like there is work to be done, but it's just like work at the beach, so it's grand.
Yeah, sure. That's where we'll wrap things up, sure.
Aye, but is that all we're gonna say about the Joe Rogan thing? Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's blown over. That was, you know, it was a talking point for a lot of people, you know, but it's blown over. I mean, he is what he is, and he's always going to be in some kind of headline because of the people he gets on his show, and you know,
Yeah.
you shouldn't listen to him. You have the opportunity to listen to him. Listen to him if you want, but you know that he's not a doctor. Like he says, he's not a doctor.
He's
So,
not a
you know,
doctor, no. You're right. But he does have a lot of experts on that, like.
that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, and we all can have opinions, and it's healthy
Yeah,
to talk about.
we all have our
Not,
opinions, and it's.
not to freaking castrate someone for having to say something that comes out of their mouths. You know, if you're not a doctor, that means you're not very intelligent. So we're stupid. So that we say stupid shit.
Hang
You know?
on. So everybody that's not a doctor is stupid.
Oh, you know what I mean? I was just trying to make
You know what I mean?
you know, like I don't know, like one of those stories from the Bible that teaches you an underlying story.
Only ever trust a doctor.
Yeah, that's what Jesus says.
Doctors are pretty smart, like, but they don't know everything.
No, they don't. No.
Yeah, that's one of the last wee things that we did. I was going to talk to you about medical interventionism. There's a term. It's called iatrogenics, and it's like from Latin or whatever. It means harm from the healer or harmed by the healer, and it's where the whenever you try to heal someone or whenever somebody tries to get healed of something, that it ends up doing more harm. Like back in Austria in the 17th century or something like that, there was this guy Ignaz Semmelweis who was I think he was some sort of doctor or whatever, but he was saying that there were in the street or at home, whenever women were giving birth, there was one death in every 1,000 births, something like that. And then they started bringing women into hospitals for them to have children. And there was like a child would die or the mother would die at one in every 50 births or something like that. And this guy, Ignaz Semmelweis, realized that what was going on was the doctors weren't washing their hands, and he was the first guy to come up with like washing your hands to sanitize. So the doctors were in doing like an autopsy on a cadaver or something, and then going out and delivering a baby, and then there was all sorts of germs and stuff, and end up.
They probably would have. They wouldn't have used soap. They probably. I mean, even if you there'd be a natural reaction. You know, if you're clattered in blood or something like that, you're gonna at least probably use
wipe
water.
it with a rag or wash it in water.
Yeah, wash it with water. There's, yeah, it's not going to be like they're walking around with shit all over their hands,
Cadaver shit. Yeah, no, that's true. But that's what happened, and this guy had proposed that. But the medical community was like, no, you're talking shit, and they ignored him for years, and they put him into a mental institution or something, and he died of the very thing that he was warning about. He was giving birth or something and got infected. No, but he died of some sort of fucking dysentery or something like that. And then after that, they realized, oh no, wait, we probably should wash our hands. But no, just the idea, like medicine is a practice, and doctors don't really know everything. They just go by what they've learned so far and try to judge by that. And there was a John Hopkins study done a few years back that discovered that medical error was the third leading cause of death in the US after heart disease and cancer. Medical error.
Okay.
So it's we hold doctors in this sort of position of power and knowledge as if like they know everything, but they know a lot. They know a lot about biology and a bit about chemistry, and they have their experience of their years of learning. And
this is very similar to the climate change argument. That conservatives say that climate change doesn't exist. They say, all the doctors can't be right and all this kind of stuff. But there's a consensus. I think at times like this, during the pandemic,
is there consensus? Because there's a lot of doctors that are speaking out saying, no, I don't agree with this, and they're being silenced. But it's just in the media, which, we were talking about earlier, CNN and all that, where they have their beliefs that they're trying to push on people. So we believe there's consensus, but I don't think there really is consensus. It's like, people say like, oh, the science says this, but the science doesn't necessarily say that. There's a lot of disagreement. People will be like, there's a study comes out that supposedly proves that something causes something else, and then some other scientist goes, are you sure? And then they look through their data and they go, I don't know if that's true, because it looks like you did this thing or you didn't control for this other thing. So it's not all cut and dry. Like doctors, whatever a doctor says is bang on right, or whatever a particular scientist says is bang on right. There's like, it's not cut and dry. It's not set in stone. It's
up to debate. You can shove healing crystals up your bum.
If it would fucking work, I'd do it.
Then you're gonna need to get a doctor to freaking take it out.
If Guru Far Out Woo Woo told me that it would work, I would do it. Connor, let's see, Connor got me a t-shirt there. If I can find it.
Is it age appropriate?
Oh, it is. Yeah. Well, I don't know if he can. Does it reverse it?
Ask me about Far Out Woo Woo. What does that mean? I don't understand. I never understand anything.
You're not really meant to understand. No, it's just we were.
Is it a sex thing?
No, it's not. It's
between you and Connor.
Have you never heard me say something about woo woo before? Hey.
You're like your safety word.
No, it's not definite enough. That could be anything really. No, woo woo. It's like Far Out Woo Woo. It's like people would give it as a label, like new agey things. Like people might say meditation, mindfulness, and as you said, healing crystals and stuff is kind of woo-woo. It's like, ooh, people with a lot of wild hippie kind of ideas. But we were chatting the other night, and I was saying about far out woo woo, and Connor thought it was hilarious. And it was before my birthday, and I said, "Oh well, there, if you have the birthday idea, get me a T-shirt." Hey,
Your birthday was recently.
it was last month.
Oh,
We had a conversation about this. You apologized to
birthday.
me for forgetting. And you forgot that you had the conversation with me about forgetting.
Did I?
Jesus.
Did I? Did I have a conversation with you?
Yeah, I think you were drunk at the time though. And it was on FaceTime or whatever, or WhatsApp, and you were like, "Oh, I'm sorry, man. Fuck."
Oh yeah, I'm sorry again. Sure, why not?
Yeah, all right, that's grand. Sure, you can buy me a present when it's your birthday
Oh yeah.
with your
Who knows
birthday
when-
money.
Oh yeah. Well, see, the thing is, I'm not on Facebook, so it doesn't. The main thing. That's the main thing that reminded me about everyone's birthday.
Yeah,
Now I don't. Now I don't know shit.
yeah. No, I used to wish people happy birthday on Facebook, but now I just avoid Facebook because it's a cesspit of nonsense. But that's it. We can call it a day at that there now. My beer is ran empty and I've resorted to drinking water from a blue water bottle. And it's a Friday evening. The sun's still kind of shining out there.
It's gone down for me. I want a cup of tea.
All right. No alcohol this evening.
No, detoxing. I'm going to try and do for my 30 days. I'm going to try to do 30 days of that with it. Booze is bad. You can't do stuff.
It
with
is,
booze.
yeah. It's you feel it. You feel it after a while.
I think I've seen a thing just before we go. Sure. Why there's liver psoriasis or cirrhosis of the liver in Russia? Why is there none of those diseases in Russia? What do you think?
Why isn't there?
Yeah,
I don't know.
because they drink to an excess of blood poisoning, of dying directly from the alcohol, not just over long, effects that will, because they looked at a similar study in Glasgow or in Scotland, and they're known for being heavy drinkers. And this study showed that, yeah, they live a bit longer, but they have psoriasis because they're not drinking. They drink the perfect amount of excess.
Right.
You know.
So Russians drink enough quickly that they end up just dying directly from alcohol poisoning.
Yeah. Alcohol
Whereas-
poisoning, like with any of us, we knock back a full bottle or something, we could, fucking kill ourselves.
Yeah. But in Ireland, an alcohol land, Ireland and Scotland, people drink heavily, but like not as heavily as the Russians, but heavy enough so that it doesn't quite kill them yet, but it does actually.
Slowly. It's more of a slow kind of death. So the Russians actually have a bit of I say I'd rather that than, be on some machine or being, people that have to go through dialysis and stuff. All that kind of stuff that sounds horrible.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want that,
For sure.
at all.
That's it. Hey, everything you do, well, all the fun stuff kills you.
Pretty much.
Meditation doesn't though. That's
Yeah,
good.
but it's not really fun. I wouldn't use that adjective for it, it's not no. I would never, I would say it's helpful, impacting, but I haven't reached nirvana yet to say, oh yeah, oof, God, that meditation was fantastic. That was a yeah.
That's one of the answers when they asked me about far out woo woo. We were talking about it there the other day. I was thinking an answer would be far out woo woo is the space between thoughts.
That's where we're going to finish.
Yeah, perfect. Well, it was good chatting to you, Charles, and I'll hear you soon for another wee bit of banter. It's been
All
lovely.
right.
Take care.
No.